welcome to my thoughts while standing in the queue. Today I was standing in the queue waiting to get on the Ferris wheel down at the beach when I thought about the millennial generation. People born after 1980 seem to have lost their sense of fun. From what I understand, they prefer a quiet evening home knitting or sitting and chatting with the parents they have lived with for well over 25 years, since they don't seem to want to leave home, instead of going out and partying and sort of sowing their oats.
What the is wrong with you?
While I condone that, and I think that's a lovely way to live, I think they're missing out on something. I believe that late adolescence and early adulthood is the time to sow your wild oats, to get out there and really play. I'm not saying that the generation that they have now labeled Generation Yawn, born from 1980 until 2000, are boring, but I think that they're missing out on a little bit of spice. I don't think they should run out to pubs and get plastered until they can't see straight, or snort so much cocaine that their nostrils are sticking out like red flags. But at the same time, I'd like to see them use that excess energy and that joie de vivre that I'm sure they have for something that's a little bit more fun than sitting around trying out new cake recipes with their moms. That was the one thing we knew how to do in the 50s. I can sort of remember when I was 15 years old, I invited all my classmates over for a taffy pull. For those of you who don't know what a taffy pull is, you boil a lot of corn syrup and sugar in water until it forms a sort of gooey consistency, and as soon as it cools, you butter your hands and you pull these chunks of gunk until it becomes an elastic sort of candy. Then you cut it into chunks, put it in plastic bags, and give it to all your friends so that they lose their teeth when they crunch into it. All my friends came over that night, and because we had an excess of enthusiasm and a high metabolism, we went at this taffy pulling the whole 9 yards. We boiled the stuff, gave each other a big chunk, and started pulling. However, the taffy seemed to have a life of its own, and it seemed to move from hand to sleeve to clothing to our bodies to the furniture to the drapes and to the canary. Before long, we were all stuck together in the most inappropriate ways. I have to say that when my parents came home that night from their formal dinner, they were appalled to see their domicile turned into what looked like Dante's Inferno. Billy Calb was plastered against the back wall. Mary Biggs had the toilet seat stuck to her bum. The canary was stuck between two bars of his cage, and the dog looked like we had crucified him against the window. My parents managed to gather enough ice cubes so that we could rub the taffy off our clothes. We freed Billy Calb, and we freed Mary Biggs, got the canary back in her cage. The dog never got his fluffy fur back again. He always looked slightly matted, but he forgave us because that's what dogs do. My parents told me I would never, ever be able to have a party again at our house. My classmates boycotted the house for a whole year, and they never came near our home and hated my mother and father. Mrs. Calb never spoke to my mother again, ever. But you know, when I think back on that marvelous taffy pull, where we all were stuck together, screaming and laughing, and while the Victrola played I'd Like to Get You on a Slow Boat to China, I don't remember the anguish. I don't remember the discomfort. I don't remember my parents' anger. All I remember is that we had a marvelous time.